Welcome to Switch Game List. Join me as I count down my top 15 best upcoming action RPG games on Nintendo Switch 2025 and beyond. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. DECAPOLICE puts you in the shoes of a rookie detective who solves crimes in both the real world and a digital recreation called DECASIM. You'll gather evidence, interrogate suspects, and piece together cases while battling through RPG combat sequences. The game blends investigation mechanics with turn-based battles in a unique cyberpunk meets noir setting. The story tackles themes of justice and technology dependence. I appreciate how the developers didn't just slap detective elements onto a standard RPG. They actually built meaningful investigation gameplay.
警察のシステムに潜入しプログラムを書き換えた。それって完全に犯罪だぞ。これが犯罪だと。この狂った街では手段を選んではいられない。
Tales of Seikyu continues the beloved Tales series tradition with a fresh take on its action combat system. Set in a world where humans and spirits coexist, you follow a young wanderer who discovers they can communicate with both realms. As faction tensions rise, you build a diverse party of companions and battle through fast-paced encounters using a revamped version of the linear motion battle system. The narrative explores themes of prejudice and understanding. The combat feels smoother than previous entries, though the story takes time to gain momentum. Pokemon Legends. ZA takes us back to the Kalos region, but in an entirely different era. Set in a time when Lumiose City is being constructed, you work as a city planner while uncovering secrets of ancient Pokemon and the mysterious ZA phenomenon. Unlike traditional Pokemon games, you'll explore a semi-open world and use stealth mechanics to study Pokemon in their natural habitats. The battle system builds on Legends Arceus, adding new time manipulation abilities. This feels like the refreshing evolution the series needed after years of incremental changes.
Carefully to gain the upper hand. Lead your partner Pokemon through battles and dodge incoming attacks. Swap Pokemon if you need to and find the right moment to unleash a move. What's
Mandragora.
more?
Whispers of the Witch Tree drops you into a dark fantasy world corrupted by a malevolent force. You play as a lone warrior fighting through hand-drawn environments with fluid, challenging combat. The world, inspired by Slavic mythology, tells its story through environmental details rather than exposition. As you progress, you unlock new abilities from the ancient Witch Tree, customizing your playstyle. The atmosphere pulls you in despite the punishing difficulty. The combat strikes that perfect balance between accessible and deep, making each encounter feel consequential without becoming frustrating.
Inquisitor, a word in private.
My time at Evershine continues the charming Life Sim RPG series with a new setting. After a shipwreck strands you on a mysterious island, you must build a new life from scratch. Beyond the usual farming, crafting, and relationship building, Evershine introduces survival elements and an underground dungeon system with procedurally generated areas. The main story involves uncovering the island's ancient technology while helping locals rebuild their community. The game maintains the series' charm while adding just enough new mechanics to feel fresh without overwhelming players. Rune Factory. Guardians of Azuma blends farming simulation with monster taming and dungeon crawling. You arrive in Azuma Village as the newest Guardian Apprentice, tasked with protecting the region from mysterious environmental changes. The game expands on the series' formula with a new elemental rune system that affects both crop growth and combat abilities. Your relationships with villagers impact the story's direction and unlock unique companion abilities. The farming mechanics feel more integrated with the main adventure than in previous entries, making every activity feel meaningful to progression.
We'll do this together.
Azuma's gods must perish. Every last one.
Move!
Kingdom Hearts 4 marks a fresh start after the Eschahanort saga. Sora finds himself in Quadratum, a realistic world separate from the Disney universes we know. The game introduces a more grounded visual style while maintaining the action RPG combat, now with greater emphasis on environmental interaction and verticality. The story explores the aftermath of Sora's sacrifice and introduces new threats beyond the Heartless. While Disney World's return, they feature more mature storylines that parallel the main narrative. The combat feels weightier than previous entries with real consequences to your tactical decisions. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Elusive puts you in control of a dimension-hopping thief who can phase between parallel realities. This mechanic drives both story and gameplay as you pull off heists across various versions of a sprawling city. Combat focuses on timing and positioning rather than button mashing, requiring you to shift dimensions mid-fight to gain advantages. The narrative follows your character's search for their lost partner while uncovering a conspiracy spanning multiple realities. The dimension shifting never feels like a gimmick. It fundamentally changes how you approach every situation, from combat to exploration.
It can seem frightening sometimes. But you must venture out to help others like yourself.
Displaced thrusts you into a world where reality itself is breaking down. You play as a constant, someone who remembers previous versions of reality as the world keeps shifting around them. The action combat emphasizes adapting to constantly changing environments and enemy patterns that literally rewrite themselves mid-battle. You recruit other constants, each with unique abilities tied to different reality fragments. The story delves into existential themes while maintaining a personal narrative about finding home in a world that won't stay still. The concept could have been just a cool idea, but they've built solid gameplay around it. Legend combines monster raising with community building in a colorful island setting. After washing ashore with Amnesia, you tame and train creatures called Magnus to help with farming, fishing, crafting, and combat. Each Magnus evolves based on how you use them, creating a deeply personalized experience. The multiplayer allows friends to build a shared community, with relationship systems extending to both NPCs and other players. While the game doesn't reinvent either genre, it blends. The execution creates a satisfying loop of daily activities and progression that keeps you invested in your growing homestead. Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy creates a unique roguelite experience where each run contributes to a persistent world. You're tasked with destroying the Staff of Yendor to save the world, embarking on a perilous journey across procedurally generated but handcrafted feeling environments. The game eschews typical RPG leveling for a system of abilities and items that change your approach rather than just making you stronger. Death is permanent, but your actions shape the world for future attempts. The storytelling through environment and subtle world building creates a sense of history and consequence rarely seen in roguelites. Kingdom Hearts 3 concludes the Darkseeker saga that spanned multiple games. Sora, Donald, and Goofy search for the key to return hearts while battling the Organization 13 across Disney and Pixar worlds. The combat introduces Keyblade transformations and spectacular theme park-inspired attraction flow attacks. The story weaves together numerous plot threads from previous titles, requiring serious investment in the lore. While occasionally overwhelming with its flashy combat and convoluted plot, the emotional payoff for longtime fans makes it worthwhile. The Disney worlds feel more integral to the plot than in previous entries. First Dwarf combines base building with action RPG exploration. You control True, a dwarf engineer with a dragon companion who crash lands on a floating island. You establish and expand a settlement, while venturing out to gather resources and discover what happened to the ancient dwarf civilization. The dragon serves as both transport and combat support, growing alongside your character. The resource management strikes a good balance between challenging and tedious, never bogging down the exploration. I particularly enjoy how the relationship between True and the dragon develops through gameplay rather than just cutscenes. Final Fantasy XV follows Prince Noctis and his 3 friends on a road trip that transforms into a quest to reclaim his throne. The combat shifts away from traditional turn-based systems to action-oriented battles where positioning and timing matter. The open world encourages exploration through camping, cooking, side quests, and monster hunts. The story tackles themes of friendship, duty, and sacrifice, though it suffers from pacing issues. The camaraderie between the 4 main characters stands out as the game's strongest element, creating genuinely touching moments amid the fantasy politics and monster slaying.
Can we borrow some cash?
Oh, now I get it. This must be what Pawpaw meant when he said he was gonna teach them boys a lesson. Told me.
Genshin Impact offers a vast open world filled with elemental magic, diverse characters, and action-based combat. The story follows the travelers searching for their lost sibling across the continent of Teyvat, where 7 nations are each governed by a god. The game shines in its elemental combo system, which encourages experimenting with different character combinations. While the gacha mechanics for obtaining new characters can frustrate, the base game provides substantial content without spending. The regular updates add new areas, story quests, and seasonal events that keep the world feeling alive and worth revisiting. Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.